What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of ACES Conference, the podcast. I'm your host, Justin Escar. As always, with me is my good friend, Tim. We are the co-hosts of ACES Conference. I own Virtual Computers. He owns Creative Techs. And we'll take it from there. I don't actually know why, Tim, I actually sing the words, the podcast, every time. I don't know when that started, but now I can't not just go, the podcast, every time we do a show.
I was wondering, I was contemplating chiming in, and I decided against it.
Do you want to comment on this, man?
I was going to, I thought maybe, but I realized that was a really bad idea.
Yeah, because
everybody would.
I'm so off key, and there's no way anyone could harmonize with how bad I am.
And everybody would just tune out right there at the 30-second mark, which would be a little bit quicker than normal.
No, yeah, but what we are in harmony about, Tim, is that we both like building good ACNs and MSPs and all those TLAs and building our business, and that's why we host the ACES Conference coming at you every Thursday this May. From 12 to 2:30 p.m. Eastern, May 6th, 13th, 20th, and 27th.
Nice job.
Thank you. Nailed that one. Well, you'll get a couple speakers, because it used to be 2 speakers and a roundtable, and now there's a potential there's 5 speakers on one day. You'll get all this great information on how to grow your business every week, and you'll be able to apply that information during the week, which is great, and then you can talk about it the following week. So every Thursday in May, go to acesconf.com to sign up. Be one of our first 100 registrants, and you'll get our gift box this year, which is going to be loaded with goodies, and you'll be entered to win our big giveaway prize during our wrap party, thanks to Market Circle. We're giving away a big streaming kit with a brand new M1 Mac Mini, fully loaded with an Elgato key light, an Elgato mic, and an Elgato Stream Deck. So you got to be there to win it. Go to acesconf.com. That said, we have a ACES Conf attendee who was on our virtual show last year, and actually 2 years ago was his company's first time joining ACES Conference, even though he did not come. We have Dwayne Schwartz from Sidekick Solutions. Here we go. Add him to the stream. Dwayne! What's up, buddy?
Hi, how are you?
We're good. Tim's dealing with a security issue right now, so anything to keep him from actually doing his job is good time by him.
We ran through the protocol. We're waiting. We've got the accounts all shut down. We're just waiting now, but answering questions from customer as they're kind of freaking out.
Is this one of those
and
things
rightly
where,
so.
Is this one of those things where you're glad Dwayne's on the phone so you have an actual consultant to help you in case you need help?
That's right.
Why is that always our go-to? Why is it whenever one of us asks for help, someone else goes, "Oh, you need a consultant? I got somebody for you." Why is that our go-to answer for this?
I always just start every conversation saying, "I wish I could get some tech help." It's just
that's true.
Yeah.
So Dwayne, thanks for being here, man. For those who don't know you, please introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about yourself, what your company does, where you're located, and maybe something people don't know about you.
Okay. I'm Dwayne Schwartz. I have a company called Sidekick Solutions. We're located in Kansas City, primarily on the Kansas side. But we do serve the greater Kansas City area. The company's been around for almost 20 years. I've been working with the Apple environment for close to 30. So I'm starting to show my age a little bit. I started growing my company by adding staff about 9 years ago, and learned a lot about how to do a little bit of a force multiplication of people. I was the person for a long time, and it's ironic. I actually added admin staff first before I added tech staff.
Nice.
And in doing that, I took care of I was able to broaden my scope pretty fast, and then start adding tech people pretty quickly. We're not a huge company. There's 7 of us, and we're not all techs. In fact, we have a whole nother side of our business that does FileMaker development. Yeah, you can probably hear that on the line. We have you want to hear something about me you probably don't know? We have a cockatiel, a cockatoo that screams.
Okay, so for people who don't realize what's going on, I actually just privately DM'd Tim going, "Is that your cat?" Because I was like, "What is that?" Sorry,
it's not me. It sounds like a dinosaur. Like, are we Dwayne's in Jurassic Park?
Into this call. So that's a good something people don't know is that you own a cockatiel and he knows when you're on podcast interviews.
Apparently, I should probably get a cat and take care of the problem. Probably though the other couple of things that I do that are my clients know it, but my colleagues maybe not, is I do like to motorcycle and we like to take long trips. So we're in the middle of the country and we've been all the way out to the East Coast. We've been into Canada, down to the Gulf, and my wife rides with me.
That's awesome.
And it's been it's a nice way to spend my summer. And when I expanded the company, that made that possible. The other small little thing that I do is I'm actually a registered therapy dog handler, and I have a dog, and we go into hospitals and schools and nursing homes, and so on. And that was born out of necessity because we adopted a husky who needed training, and he took to training really well.
Nice.
And in doing that, found he actually had a talent. So. And that's been something that's been shut down during the pandemic, and I'm kind of looking forward to that getting started up again. So that's a few things.
That's really cool. It's always fun when we have people on here that are just better people than Justin and I are. like good humans. I love it.
People who are listening and not watching the video don't see the face that I just made, because part of it is like, screw you, Tim, and at the same time, the same face is going, you know what? He does sound like a better person than me.
Well, I unloaded my whole clip there. I'm sure I could.
Wait, I actually had a question for you. I had a question for you because you said that you ride bikes with your wife. How many times in your road trips did you ever think to yourself, you know what? I could put a Mac Mini with a 6-inch screen right in the middle of the dash on my motorcycle. I find that Apple people do that a lot. They always try to figure out how they can fit a Mac Mini onto. Because I knew a guy growing up when I was at another consultancy way before I started my own, and he had one of the first Segways, and he put a Mac Mini and a battery pack and lights and a screen, and I was like, "You are a Mac geek," and he goes, "That's actually what my license plate is," and it was.
I would say the first thing I tried to do, and this was going back quite a ways on my old motorcycle, is I figured out pretty early how to do Bluetooth in my helmet. And that was when it was just emerging.
Yeah.
And I've actually talked to clients and done stuff on my motorcycle, and people don't even know I'm on the bike.
You need to be able to see on the visor, in AR, to be able to see their screen. I mean, it's super dangerous. If you're listening to this podcast on a motorcycle, pull over. Maybe you have to call a client. I'm not going to be responsible. There's no insurers on this podcast. Well, that sounds awesome. Thanks for letting people know a little bit more about you, because you are a member of the ACES family. I know in 2019, because we were in Kansas City, you were in Kansas City, you were able to send some people, and then you joined us for the 2020 virtual show. What do you think were some of the takeaways, either from your staff or yourself, from the 2019 and the 2020 shows?
Oh, takeaways. We were just starting to spin up a model for RMM. So I guess the best way I can put that is we were just doing hourly billing, going out to see clients, and felt there had to be a better way to do it. And we kind of stumbled upon the ACES group. I had gone to a conference for Mac Tech the prior year, and at that point was recommended to the ACES group, and so that's when I joined. We were pretty much just starting up to get it going, and it was coincidental you guys are coming to Kansas City. So unfortunately, I was on a motorcycle trip when you were here.
It made it affordable, though. You could send the whole team that way.
We were well represented. So the takeaway from all that was just a lot of the resources that were available. I signed up for the full kit and got a little bit of consulting afterwards. That was very helpful. I think the best question I was asked during that consulting was, how many hours are you billing a week? And I, said that the standard number a lot of us say, I don't know, 30, 40, 50, whatever the number is. And I don't have the name in front of me, but the advice was make that about 10.
Yeah.
And so I just totally flipped a switch. And at the same time, even though I was already mentally going into the recurring monthly revenue, at the time it was it just really made a big difference. So I became more of a director type person and less of a biller person.
Nice.
And I watched my team kind of do this at the same time.
Yeah.
So
it's funny
that was valuable
for people who are not watching. You raise your hands up, and what I like about that is I was just listening to I think it was a Masters of Scale podcast. Oh no, sorry, it was Think Bigger or something like that. And they mentioned in order to lift somebody up, you can't pull them up. Is you as the person in charge, you can't necessarily pull that person up. You have to lift from behind. And the fact that you actually lifted your people and made the hand motion to lift your people, it kind of reminded me of this because that's exactly right. Like you can hire people and you can try to get them as best you can, but unless you are behind them, pushing them forward and making them better, even if that means cutting away your own billable hours or shifting the way you do things and changing your mindset to help them grow, that's a huge thing. So congratulations on all that.
It was eye-opening, and I think it was something I kind of knew, but then having someone just in a 30-minute interview pick that out and just throw it right back at me,
right.
that made it. I mean, it made the whatever we paid, it made it worth it 10 times over or more. So, and then the virtual conference last year was a little different experience because I actually did attend. And so I kind of got to see some of the proceedings, but my assistant Cecilia was in it as well. And I think she gained a ton because she was just coming up to speed in the business. And then the two of us now, collaborate on business planning and so forth.
I think I
was talking to Cecilia in some of the breakout rooms, actually, if I remember correctly. But that's awesome that you learned all this stuff, and that's really what ACE is about. So we were talking before we started recording, and I know that you're going on another bike trip this year, so you won't be joining us this year. But I think I convinced you to send some people anyway, because that's kind of what I do. But for someone who's still thinking about coming to ACES, what would you say to them to get them to get into it?
I think the thing I would say is we all of us out here are kind of on an island, and there's always things that you're thinking about, but you don't really know the way there. And to just start putting faces to some of these people that you may have been chatting with or seeing on Slack or that sort of thing, it kind of opens up your ability to ask questions and get some interaction. And even if you don't jump in and heavily participate, you get a lot there just by observing. And I would say that for me was a big deal. Some of the vendors have been helpful. We became a daylight coach recently, and I know that Market Circle is part of this one, so I'm pretty familiar with those people as well. So there's some opportunities there. I know from our business's standpoint that we have just kind of got ourselves to a level of recurring monthly revenue, and I think my next step is to maybe bring another level of automation to some of the things that we do. We still strong arm a lot of things.
Yeah.
And I'm okay with that because we're a real high touch company. I mean, we really are a high touch company, and I kind of like that, but I'd like to take some of the stuff that we don't need to touch. And
right. You know where I'm going to go with this, because we were just talking last in our not our last.
Right, we were talking with Matt about this the other day.
We were talking about Matt about this, and I literally just and you and I have this little bit of a disagreement, but still agreed at the end that like in those cases, even with some of the high touch stuff, though, if you can automate some of it, still provide that touch, but make it easier for your employees and build those automations. More than likely, someone else probably needs those automations also. So if you want to be the one to foot the bill and sell it, be my guest. But those automations are things that I think, especially in the Apple community, we're starting to see more and more of this come up, and we're catching up on all that other stuff. It used to be, everybody was high touch, and now MDM has changed the way we do things or how we roll out. And now we have to kind of rely on automations and take advantage of those APIs and those open APIs that we can to make things work. And there's great tools out there that help you do that. I was just looking at, I wish they were a sponsor, but Integromat is a great one where they just connect out like Zapier, things like that. You got to build those automations. Still be able to provide the high touch and the great quality of work, but instead of doing something for 5 hours, you can do it for 1 hour and still like at the end have the same result. So that's always good.
Well, in the high touch for me, I'd rather do is, bring in a box of donuts and talk to the clients. I mean, that I don't want to hide behind a desk. So
I think that's absolutely the key is to be able to do the stuff, have the stuff happen in the background. And then you're able to go in, have the donuts, say, hey, how great is everything right here, right now, right? And what do you need? What are you guys thinking about doing? Are you hiring more people? What do you need to be doing next month or next quarter? Or, help them look at their business as like a true consultant, rather than just a guy in there fixing their shit.
You spend the 4 extra hours you gained automating from automation by eating donuts for 4 hours, which, by the way, ACES conference does not recommend eating nothing but donuts for 4 hours. You will go into diabetic shock.
I prefer to pair it with a nice bottle of red wine, but I digress. One of the things I'd like to circle back to what Dwayne was talking about earlier. He was talking about bringing your team to ACES, and I think that especially there's some stuff for this year's ACES that will really help people. There's not a ton of automate your business talk, right? Or we're not going to go into like the latest tools with the Adigy and RMM, but there's a lot of stuff that we're going to do that will help either your back office people get a better grasp of what you're trying to do, which helps the business, right? The same thing with your field techs. If they kind of get a better feel for like what you do and how you make money, that's going to help. Plus, some of these people that we're having where they're helping. Helping people communicate better over Zoom and in a virtual world. I know for a fact that a lot of the techs that you work with, or I don't mean you, that like we work with, or when we talk to other IT people, one of the things they can't do is they can't communicate. And it's hard enough for them to communicate in person, right?
The irony of this sentence right now, Tim. You're stumbling over your words, saying
irony of
the irony of not
yeah. I get it, but that's why we have ACES.
That's exactly why we have ACES.
But people like to talk to me, and I like to talk, and I'll just go on all day. And so, but to help those people with some of those tools, provide them some of those tools so that they can do a better job. It only ends up helping your business. And so I think it's something that's just really important.
So the main takeaway here is that Dwayne will send all of his staff to ACES Conference 2021, and you should too. Sign up today at acesconf.com.
That's right.
Is that how we're going to do this?
I think that's what I was trying to say, but
this episode is going to be called "How Tim and Justin Strong Arm People into Buying Tickets to the ACES Conference."
I'm
okay with it. Well, Dwayne, that sounds awesome, and I think you learned a lot, and I think your team did. It was great meeting Granville and I think it was Brad, right? I was gonna say Bob, but that's not right. Brad. We literally just talked about this. I've been on podcasts all day. My eyes are shut. It was great meeting them there and seeing you and Cecile last year at the virtual conference. And again, last year's conference was a lot. You said it was different, and that's an understatement. Having that Tim and I put together 24 hours of content straight through 9 to 9. And that's why we're not doing it again this year, because it overwhelmed you. So, and it also took me and Tim out of commission for like a week and a half. So this year, ACES conference is every Thursday in May, 12 to 2:30 Eastern time, 9 a.m. to 11:30 Pacific time. So it's 2.5 hours of your day, a couple of speakers, a roundtable, goodies. The wrap party will be after that last Thursday. It'll be in the evening, probably East Coast time. We'll let you know exactly when. You'll meet some of the sponsors. You'll meet other attendees. There'll be a lot happening in Slack. It's gonna be a great show, and I hope you're there to enjoy it and learn something and grow your business. That's all I have. Dwayne, thanks so much for being here, man. Any final words for our listeners?
You won't regret attending, that's for sure, and you'll get multiple times the value of anything you spend.
You're muted, dude. No, you are fine, Dwayne. It's Justin. We all need the T-shirt that Justin tries to sell that says "you're muted" because he's going. Blah, 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 blah.
Did I do
Nothing's
it
coming out.
I keep hitting the thing. It's late. I was saying Dwayne did such a good job that he should be our head of marketing. Right.
Absolutely, 100%.
This episode is going. It's going. Tim, you have anything else you want to say before we say goodbye to the folks?
No, I'm just looking forward to seeing everybody in May.
All right,
and I want to get out. I can't wait to run into Dwayne in person and talk to him about going for a ride. That's all. I think that'd be fun. Yeah,
that'd be awesome. All right, well, that's it for us. Say goodbye, Tim.
Goodbye, Tim.
Goodbye, Tim.
Thanks, everyone.